Edward Walter Furlong is an American actor and musician. A former child star, Furlong won Saturn and MTV Movie Awards for his breakthrough performance as John Connor in Terminator 2, Judgment Day. The following year he gave an Independent Spirit Award-nominated turn opposite Jeff Bridges in American Heart, and earned a second Saturn Award nomination for his work in Pet Sematary Two. He won a Young Artist Award for his performance alongside Kathy Bates in A Home of Our Own, and shared a further ensemble nomination with the cast of the film. Furlong received acclaim for his starring roles in the 1998 motion pictures Pecker and American History X, the latter of which co-starred Edward Norton. Other noteworthy titles from his early career include Little Odessa, Brainscan, The Grass Harp, and Before and After, also starring Meryl Streep and Liam Neeson. He reprised his role as John Connor in the International Universal Studios Parks attraction T2 3D, Battle Across Time. Furlong briefly followed a singing career, releasing a 1991 album, Hold On Tight, which was only sold in Japan. Furlong's last significant roles were in the comedy Detroit Rock City and the crime drama Animal Factory. His career subsequently declined due to multiple arrests and court cases, and chronic substance abuse and alcoholism. Furlong played the title character in the direct-to-video horror film The Crow, Wicked Prayer. In 2011 he played a supporting role in The Green Hornet. Early life: Edward Furlong was born in Glendale, California, the son of Eleanor Torres, a youth center worker. No information has been provided about his biological father. He has a younger half-brother, Robert Torres, from his mother's marriage to Moises Torres, Furlong's former stepfather. By the time of his debut in Terminator 2, the couple were divorced. Furlong is of partial Mexican descent on his mother's side, and has described himself as half-Russian. His mother's sister, Nancy Tafuara, and their half-brother Sean Furlong, obtained custody of him for several years, including 1990-1, when he began his acting career. Initially, the two served as Furlong's managers. At age 15 he became romantically involved with 29-year-old Jacqueline Domack, the tutor assigned to him during filming. This led to a split with his aunt and uncle, and eventually to his emancipation at age 16. The two lived together and Domack also served as his manager. They were engaged to be married, but split in 1998. In 1999 Domack sued Furlong for money she claimed was owed to her, but being withheld by him, primarily for her role as his manager. She also claimed physical abuse by Furlong. Career: 1990s. In 1991, Furlong began his film career as John Connor in Terminator 2, Judgment Day, a role that earned him an MTV Movie Award for Best Breakthrough Role and a Saturn Award for Best Young Actor. He was discovered for the part by casting director Marley Finn while visiting the Pasadena Boys and Girls Club in September 1990. He followed this role with a string of moderately successful high-profile films and indies, sharing the screen with Meryl Streep and Liam Neeson in Before and After, Tim Roth, Maximilian Schell, and Vanessa Redgrave in Little Odessa, and Anthony Edwards and Clancy Brown in Pet Sematary Two. In 1993, Furlong was featured in Aerosmith's music video for Livin' on the Edge. This was also the only major Aerosmith video from Get a Grip not to feature Alicia Silverstone. He played the lead role of Michael Brower, a horror and video game-obsessed teen in the 1994 film Brainscan. In 1995, he starred in the film adaptation of Truman Capote's The Grass Harp. In 1997, he starred in American History X alongside Edward Norton and appeared in his first comedy role in Pecker, directed by John Waters. Of his title role in Pecker, Furlong stated, "It's true, most of the characters that I've played so far are kind of like suicidal. Really dark roles, which I like. But I wanted to do something different and John gave me a chance to do that." In 1998, he starred in the film Detroit Rock City. During filming he met Natasha Lyne, whom he then dated. Furlong played a young convict in Steve Buscemi's film Animal Factory, filmed in 1999. 2000s, Furlong's career and stardom declined considerably after the end of the 1990s, with most of his subsequent films being released straight to DVD. In 2001 he took a role in I Cavaliere Chafsi l'impresa, also known as The Knights of the Quest, a little-seen film by Italian filmmaker Pupo Avati. Furlong was expected to play John Connor again in Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. However, Nick Stahl was cast just before filming began in April 2002. He appeared in a music video for Metallica's The Unnamed Feeling, released in February 2004. He starred as Jimmy in the low-budget independent film Jimmy and Judy in 2004, during which time he met Rachel Bella. The two became romantically involved and later married. In 2003, Furlong played the lead in the fourth film in the Crow series, The Crow, Wicked Prayer, alongside David Boreanaz and Tara Reid. The film was planned for a theatrical release, but after 1 week in limited theaters, it was released to DVD in 2005. In 2006 and again in 2010, Furlong appeared in 5 episodes of the television program CSI, NY as character Shane Casey. Furlong appeared in the 2009 remake of the 1988 horror classic Night of the Demons, shot in New Orleans. The film was released straight to DVD. 2010s, Furlong appeared in one scene of the 2011 Seth Rogen film, The Green Hornet. Next he starred in This Is Not a Movie, an English-language Mexican film written and directed by Lalo Rubio and co-starring Peter Coyote and Edi Gathegi. The film was scored by ex-Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash. The film was released in Germany in 2010 and Mexico in January 2011. Other work: in October 1992, Furlong released an album in Japan called Hold On Tight, which included a cover of the Doors' song People Are Strange. Personal life: Furlong married Rachel Bella on April 19, 2006. The couple's son, Ethan Page Furlong, was born on September 21, 2006. On July 8, 2009, Rachel Bella filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. In September 2009 Bella claimed that Furlong was in lockdown after being violent with her. He denied the charges. In January 2011, Furlong told a judge he was completely broke, and could not afford to pay child support. Furlong was ordered to pay Bella over $15,000 he owed in child support in October 2011. As a result of the disputes with his former wife, child support payment issues, and his ongoing substance abuse and legal problems, Furlong's access to his son was restricted. On August 23, 2012, Furlong told police his wallet was stolen after he asked a stranger for directions in Skid Row, Los Angeles. Substance abuse and legal problems: Furlong has battled alcoholism and drug addiction, which derailed his career. He went into rehab in October 2000. Furlong said in December 2006 that from 22 to 26 he was on and off hard drugs, adding that, "I was a heroin and cocaine addict. It was really scary." In the same interview, he said, "I don't even think about partying anymore. It seems lonely now, running and clubbing and doing coke. I have nightmares about doing hard drugs. I'll wake up and I'm like, did I relapse?" In September 2009, Furlong was arrested for allegedly punching and threatening his wife. In January 2011, Furlong was arrested and jailed for violating his probation stemming from the restraining order his estranged wife filed. Furlong was involved in a car crash in Los Angeles on October 23, 2012. On October 30, 2012, he was arrested and charged with domestic violence after an argument with a female companion at Los Angeles International Airport. The court hearing was set for January 2013. On January 13, 2013, Furlong was arrested for a third time for domestic violence against his girlfriend Monica Keener. There was already a $30,000 warrant out for his arrest, stemming from one of the two previous incidents. Furlong was placed in jail and his bail was set at $50,000. On January 15, 2013 he pleaded not guilty to domestic violence battery. His lawyer asked for the judge to reduce the bail, but this was denied and Furlong was remanded in jail until the hearing on January 25. Following his third arrest for domestic violence, Furlong was fired from the film Other Plans. He had already been fired from the film Misled following his second arrest for domestic violence in November 2012. Furlong had been charged on December 12, 2012 for the second domestic violence arrest, but he failed to appear in court for the hearing. Furlong also faced a probation violation hearing on February 15, 2013, for contempt of court, stemming from a case in Los Angeles. The judge told him he belonged in a lockdown facility for substance abuse, and remanded him in jail pending a further hearing on March 4. On March 4, Furlong was sentenced to 6 months in jail for violating his probation. Monica Keena had filed a protection order against him, which he violated twice by being violent towards her. According to his attorney Brian Michaels, Furlong had refused to go into a drug rehabilitation center, even though it might have allowed him to avoid a jail sentence. On July 1, 2013, Furlong avoided a jail sentence for an arrest in May after agreeing to go to rehab for drug addiction for 90 days, as well as undergo 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling. He had already served 61 days in prison. Filmography, film, television, awards, references. External links: Edward Furlong at the Internet Movie Database.